Dana, Air Canada Vacations is challenging me to expand my mind, and I feel like I'm already expanding every single day in this industry, but you're asking me now to equate Europe with Air Canada Vacations.
Right.
And that's not something that comes to me naturally.
Okay.
So if it doesn't come to me naturally, I imagine for the advisors it doesn't come naturally. So how are we going to make that happen with great ease?
Well, I'm not sure it's going to happen with great ease. I think it's going to take time.
Okay.
But what we are asking our travel partners to do is to remember to consider us for Europe, because we have expanded our product line significantly. We have so many options in Europe. Of course, we have fantastic flights from anywhere in Canada. We see a lot of interest from Canadians in going to Europe. In fact, of all of the single products out there, I think Europe is an absolute favorite for Canadians. For us, it's about, think about Air Canada Vacations for Europe, because we have such a great offering and it's not top of mind.
Right.
We don't necessarily associate Air Canada Vacations with Europe,
Well,
not instinctively.
You've done such a good job of owning the sun, really, that I think now
Yes.
that you have such a diversified product,
Right.
We need to now start training the agents to think in terms of all, because you've got so much lift.
Right.
And spring is around the corner.
Right.
When consumers will start to book, right? March is a big booking month for Europe.
Yes, it's a very big booking month for Europe. It is.
Okay. So what specifically do we want the advisors to know about Europe?
I would
and Air Canada
say
Vacations?
there's a few things. First of all, the top selling destinations for us in Europe. That's important to know, because not only are they the top selling, but they also happen to be the ones that we're really very good at. One is Greece. We have Italy. We have Spain, and we have Portugal. There are 4 very popular areas that resonate with Canadians in Europe that we do very, very well.
I didn't realize that you had such a great penetration in Greece.
We do. It's a very, very popular product for us, and we have seen probably the single biggest penetration in Europe as a product that we sell. Greece is our number 1.
So all of the Mediterranean becomes a big focus.
Yes, it does.
And I understand that from a culinary perspective, that is what you want the advisors to leverage in terms of selling Europe with ACV.
Well, I know that years ago, before my dad decided to go on a cruise the first time, he was very resistant to it until I started talking about the food. So I find that tends to be a way of introducing the product in a way that everybody can relate to. And so in Europe, you've got, I mean, what is it I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to go to Greece or Italy or Spain or Portugal. I'm going to enjoy maybe I'm going to visit a winery. I'm going to go on a tour, a train ride. But in the middle of all of that is the food. And am I going to have tapas? Am I going to have paella in Spain? Pizza
Truffles.
in Italy, truffles. There's, and Prosecco with breakfast and lunch and dinner. Food is that thing that really binds everyone. It's
Yes.
the one thing we all need, we all want. And when I think of Europe, I think of the food experience as being extremely important.
So help me understand how that's sold. That's part of a package that is being sold along with various culinary additions that are added into the package?
We do have specific tours. I mean, on here we look at Barcelona a la carte. We've got Tastes of Northern Portugal. We have some packages where the food component is integrated or incorporated into them. So for the foodies out there, those would be the packages that they would want to look at more closely. But I think as a consumer coming into a travel agency virtually or in person and saying, I'd like to go to Europe, where should I go? Or I'd like to go to Greece or Italy, what do I need to know? When should I go? I mean, that's another big question that people will often ask. When is the best time to go to, for example, for Portugal?
Right.
The season in Portugal tends to start in April, May. That's early in the season. It's not as touristy, tends to be a little bit less expensive. The weather is still perfectly beautiful. And then, so that's a warmer kind of weather. And then comes September, October, you're now looking at wine harvest season in Portugal. Yeah. I mean, gosh, that just makes me want to go, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And for the touring there's the advantage of working with Trafalgar, who obviously has a great amount of experience in the land product.
Exactly, Trafalgar and Insight. So we work with them very closely to add that component. And I know the last time we talked about Europe, we talked about the fact that the experience is, it's that overall experience and what's going to happen once I get there. That's where the tour comes into play. And people can either do the full tour or they can do Barcelona on their own.
Dana, I'm going to ask you, for Europe, there's a huge amount of competition. I mean,
Yes.
There's a lot of product to Europe, whether it's an airline, a tour operator, a touring company, etc.
Right.
Why would the advisor work with ACV?
I think for the same reason that our trade partners already support us. We have the Air Canada brand, we have the flights, we have the accessibility of flights from 64 destinations across
That's
Canada.
huge. Yeah.
You can literally get from anywhere to anywhere, and I think that's the biggest thing. Of course, we're very trade focused. This is a very we're customer centric. We
Yes.
want to be as supportive as we can. That to me cannot be underestimated, because I find that our travel partners would like to have that support, and we're able to give that to them. So I think there's a couple of reasons why Air Canada Vacations, if that's the question.
All right. Well, that's been helpful in helping me expand my mind.
Please continue to do so.
Yes, I will.
We know it's not going to happen overnight, but I think that if we continue to have the conversation,
Yes.
people will continue to oh yeah, that's right, Air Canada Vacations, they do Europe.
Yeah.
And
in a big way.
In a big way. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dana.